So how goes life, people?
I don't know, but I really like that color of blue behind you, Paula.
Oh, you like our dark office?
I do.
I had the wrong background on. I had a black background and I figured snow ought to be gone. I need to find a new background. You get to see my messy office. Looks like you guys had a good time up in Duluth.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Different, but there weren't very many people up there, so it was kind of nice.
We're headed out there first weekend in May. We have a conference up there every year, and I don't know if it'll be open, but we made reservations. I've been sitting at home for a year. I'm so eager to quit looking at these four walls.
Yeah, well, that's why we figured, like, get the kids out and get some fresh air. And we were exhausted by the end of it, even though we went up in one day and back, so all the way up to Grand Portage. So 10 hours in the car with 3 kids.
You went all the way to Grand Port or to Grand Marais or Deep Portage or
Deep port, way up to the Canadian border.
oh, you were just looking for trouble.
Well, my kids do very well in the car. I'm so thankful for that. When they were, really little, what are they now? Well, one's going to be 10, 12, and 14. When Lydia was probably 4 or 5, we went out to Mount Rushmore as a first trial run. And we didn't have tablets or smartphones and all that stuff quite yet. And they did so good, not a fight or an argument out of them. And that's when I knew, game on, we can go anywhere now.
Oh, wow.
We've been to a road trip out to California twice. A couple of years ago, we did it in 10 days to go see the redwoods and all kinds. They do great.
Oh, wow. I don't do that well in the car. About 6 hours and it's like, get me out of here.
Well, and I used to have an Acadia with 3rd row seat, but this time we went in a Nissan Altima, so they're like right behind us.
That's impressive. Your children get along.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
So, Paul, did you get into? You had one brother and one sister.
Kind of me.
You had one brother and one sister. Did you guys do any?
Oh yeah, we had. I had a brother and 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Okay, I only know of the one. So, did you guys do any road trips?
Yeah, we did a big 30-day trip to California when I was like 12 years old.
Oh, really? And you didn't kill each other, huh?
No, we were worried about Dad killing us, and we had Big Lincoln, and we kind of worried about his passing techniques, but that was about it.
Well, there's a few people on. They're not going to show their mugs like the rest of them. They're not as brave. So, Rod, did you take many road trips as a kid? Uh-oh, you muted yourself. There you go.
Actually, very few, but we did take some. And when I was about 4 years old, we traveled to Phoenix. My dad worked down there over the winter, and they were afraid my brother and I were going to fight all the way home. So they bought a great big TV while we were down there. They put it between us in the back seat, so we couldn't even see each other. They said it was the best trip we'd ever taken. Most of the time, my mother would say, "We wouldn't take you kids to a dog fight."
Was she right?
Yeah, we just love to torment one another. You know how it goes. So yeah, we weren't always good, but after a while they started taking a stick about this long that they put under the front seat just in case, and that tended to make us behave slightly better.
Well, I remember a road trip with you on a fishing trip. You behaved yourself in the back of Joe's car, so.
Yeah, I probably slept most of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, our road trips as kids were on fishing trips up to Ontario and Manitoba. So That's how I learned to fish with Dad and other relatives. So that's worthwhile trips. No, Carlsbad Caverns and some of those was once, and that was about it. Otherwise, it was fish, fish, fish. And the border's closed, I'm assuming, correct?
I think what I've been reading, yes.
Yeah, when we drove up there, they had barricades up and stuff, so it's closed.
You knew Heather was coming, so.
Yeah.
Say, I've got my list in front of me. Lauren, where are you? Did you ever fill out your information for the website or directory online?
I probably did not.
Okay, you need to do that.
All right.
I'm checking my list. See who's here. I was kind of hoping we'd be.
All of you lucky people that got to go on road trips, you got to feel sorry for us milking 21 cows by hand in the morning and the evening, 7 days a week. Can't go anywhere except to church.
Yeah, I hear you. We grew up on a beef farm, so we didn't go road trips. We didn't do anything. I hadn't even been really out of the state since, as a kid. So I'm not tied to a farm, so I like to take off whenever we can.
Well, we've got to be one of the few people in the world. Mark and I have not been away from home overnight for over a year. Is there anybody else that can say that in this group?
Nope.
Steve?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So there are a few of you. Good. I was beginning to think we were the only people in the world that were too chicken to get out.
I don't even know what day it is, let alone what year. So every day's Blur's Day.
Yeah, and you aren't even retired yet.
I know, huh? It's crazy.
Wait until you get retired and it gets even worse. Or better. But I'm starting to feel like Groundhog Day. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm getting tired of doing the same thing every day.
Well, in our managers meeting yesterday, we talked about our plans for getting people back in the office, kind of having some, target dates and so forth. So that's a real sign of hope. We're planning on doing the Crow Wing Viking Festival August 21st. Then every indication is that's going to be a go. So things we can look forward to.
Well, it was just really nice to be able to do that food packing last Tuesday. For those of you who missed it, you missed a good time. It was just nice to be out with people. Even if
I'm kind of looking forward to the tail end of these vaccinations and everybody have them. That'll be Resurrection Day, won't it?
Yeah, but there's a ton of people that won't do it.
Well, then they don't have to be resurrected.
It'll take
All
more than
right.
that to get.
Well, it looks like we have about 31 people on the call. It's a little after noon. I'm just going to go ahead and get us started. It's not a club meeting day. It's a regular meeting day, but we did have a board meeting this morning. So I have a few updates that I'd like to share with the group. And we also have a presentation. So with that, welcome to Rotary. If you would please join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build
goodwill and better
friendships?
Will it be
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. And this month, Sam Anderson is doing our invocations. Sam.
Hey, everybody, let's pray. Gracious God, we pray for those suffering in Boulder and in other parts of the world. Lord, there are so many people that are suffering and struggling just to survive, even in our own country, God, those that are hungry and those that are unemployed and wishing they could work. Lord, we pray that we as Rotarians would continue the good fight, that we would continue to lift up great principles, that we would value the four-way test in all that we do, that it might lift all of society and lift all those that are hurting and broken. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you and your kingdom. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sam. And introduction of guests, our past district governor, Rick Bricker. I do not see Rick. Our assistant district governor, Don Peterson. Gloria Menk is our executive secretary for the district. I do not see Gloria. I do see Don Ryan, our district crisis committee. And I don't see Jill Carlson, who's on the district training committee. As always, thank you to those of you who serve on the district level. Are there any other guests with us today? Any other guests?
Hi, we are the Egg Issues group from Brainerd FFA. We'll be doing a presentation later.
Thank you, Addison. We look forward to meeting your entire group. Are there any other guests with us today? All right, seeing no other guests, Rotary related announcements. Does anybody have any Rotary related announcements?
I have one. The Easter Bunny needs your help. We only have, I think, 3 people signed up on the list, and we need a whole bunch more. So I will send the link out to the Google Doc. The Easter Bunny event will occur on Saturday, April 3rd. We usually start about 8:30 filling candy bags until about 9:30. But they're running it a little different this year, where they have so like 3 different waves of 100 kids. So it'll be kind of a setup and reset in between each crowd with sanitizing and things like that. So we need a few people who would be open to running the registration booth. People will come up who have registered, check in with you, you allow them through. And then we need some just kind of helping out throughout the day with scattering eggs and rescattering them, and then the candy bags. So be on the lookout for that email and sign up if you're available.
And if you haven't looked at the forecast for that first weekend in April, just a little teaser, I did look, and it looks like low 60s, so, and no rain. So I think it's the perfect day to be outside helping with an Easter egg hunt. So thanks for that, Heather.
I have an announcement as well. So it's springtime's coming up. We got to think about the roadside pickup. Sounds like the board approved 2 dates, May 11th or 18th. Those are both Tuesdays. We'll keep both dates in mind just in case we have a rain day, and we'll plan on doing 5:30 again. And just as a reminder, for kid volunteers, they have to be 12 years old, and then anyone between the ages of 12 and 17 must have a permission slip filled out. I did get a PDF of that from Mary, so when we send out more information to come, we can have those permission slips attached in there. So just keep your ears out for more information in the next few weeks on that.
Thanks, Aaron. Other Rotary related announcements.
Well, if you haven't heard, district conference is coming up, and there will be a whole week of activities the last week in April, and ending up, I think it's on Friday, about the May 1st. Sign up by going to the Bemidji website. That's Bemidji2021.com. And there's a whole host of speakers. I got some real high level speakers coming in. Well, they're not coming in because we're doing it all Zoom. And but because it's Zoom, we've got even, I believe, one session where the president of Rotary will be addressing the group. And they've got, let me see who is it. Paul Douglas is going to be doing a session on noon, for example, and And those of you who watched Channel 12 years ago, well, he was the weatherman there for a good number of years.
Great, thank you.
No charge at all for the district conference.
This is Rick. There's also another speaker that they're going to have. His name's John Huco. John Huco runs Rotary. He is the general secretary for Rotary. He is the one that makes it all work, and he's quite a dynamic speaker. So he's wonderful for the speaker.
Great, thank you. And Don, I'm assuming we'll have more information we can forward out to the club.
Yes.
Perfect. Are there other Rotary related announcements?
Am I, can you hear me?
I can. Mark, go ahead.
Those that did not come up to Nisswa last Tuesday missed a wonderful event. We packaged. It went so well. Of course, our table was the best. And then they explained a little bit of the entire history of the association. And I'm going to try to see if we can get a few people from our workplace to go up and be part of a group. Very, very interesting. That's it.
Thank you. Other Rotary related announcements? Well, as I mentioned, I do have a few. First of all, just on to what Mark said, I just want to thank all of you for those who were able to participate in the outreach program. As Mark said, I thought it was, not only was it a lot of fun, and Mark, I think our table was the best, but it also was just really rewarding. And then it was so interesting to hear Sean explain the outreach program and the impact that they have in our community. It sounded like within an 80-mile radius. So thanks again to those of you who participated. So a couple of other announcements. We did have a board meeting this morning. I'd like to take just a little bit of time to kind of bring you up to date on what some of the discussion was at the board level. First of all, we did discuss going back to in-person meetings. Heather had done a survey or a Google Doc survey asking Rotarians what they thought about going back to in-person meetings. I think the last time we did it, there was a very small percentage that were comfortable. Now, between 85 and 90% of our Rotarians who responded to the survey are interested in going back to in-person meetings. So starting April 6th, so we'll have one more Zoom meeting, but then starting April 6th, we'd like to go back to in-person meetings. Our board meeting ended and then we came right into Rotary. So I have not had the opportunity to speak with Jody Drummond. I do see she's here at the meeting. The board motion was to go back to Dennis Drummond Wine Company starting April 6th until we are welcomed back at Yesterday's Gone. So I will be following up. Jody, if you're here and that is okay, I will just let you know that I'm going to be following up with you probably tomorrow regarding this. Couple of other things, we did explore some options for Camp Journey. Carol, are you on? I don't know, Carol, if you wanted to share.
I am.
Okay, did you want to share anything about Camp Journey?
Yeah, I'll be real brief, and thanks to the board for letting Ashley and I do a little presentation. But Confidence Learning Center, we won't be able to do our traditional weekend camp in May. They aren't allowing groups from different households to come in quite yet. But what Ashley and Jennifer Person and I are going to look at is doing a day session, either a day session in May and or September. So we're going to get together and see if that's going to be a doable thing, and we'll keep you posted. But that's where we're looking this year. For sure, we're going to try and do Camp Journey in 2022. I think it's a very important program, and that's the plan at the moment. Thank you.
And Jennifer, can you hear me?
Yes, Jody, I can.
I was trying to unmute Dennis's computer and I was having a hard time. Yes, that's fine with us to have you back gladly.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we'll have it all set up and I have all the bells and the buttons and whistles.
Perfect.
Okay.
Jody,
So-
I'll circle back around with you. Thank you for piping in here.
Thank you so much.
All right, and then I think my last announcement from the board meeting this morning is that the board did accept Candace Zimmerman into for membership. So there will be a 2-week period to which you can comment on that. And I know that Heather is going to be sending out an email maybe later today. So, and that kind of is just a brief summary. Yep. Go ahead.
Jennifer?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Pete. I'd like to let the members know that in a couple of weeks, we'll be starting our pavilion project in earnest. We do have materials, trusses and post materials delivered as far as Pillager, and we'll bring everything on site kind of as needed. So we'll be setting up a few painting, staining kinds of parties and moving forward with that project.
Thank you, Pete. Are there any other Rotary related announcements? All right, well, Andy is not able to join us today, but I'd still like to take maybe 5-10 minutes for happy dollars. So I'm just going to open it up to the group. If you have any happy dollars or you would like to share something on your screen, feel free.
Well, this is Paula Persons, and I think Lee's going to agree with me. I don't think anybody here in the other lines passed the 4-way test because I think our row was the one that packaged the most. And did I catch it that we packaged 10,800 meals in that like hour and a half? So I think we did really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And boy, it was good to see people in person.
Other Rotary related announcements.
This is Dan. I'll go to my camera here. There we go. I have 3 happy dollars. I was happy to see Lee Sipe this weekend. Hi, Lee. It was nice. I didn't know she was such a great singer. It was at a funeral, however, but it was still nice to see Lee. Second, if you haven't heard, I'm retiring from Lakeland PBS in 2 months, and they've posted the job description. So if anybody's looking for a great job with a good organization, that's posted. The third thing is I've spent my last year writing and editing a book, and that is now available on Amazon as a Kindle ebook or an audio book. So if you're interested in learning more, you can go to my website, danhegstead.com, follow the links, and there you go.
Thank you, Dan. Other happy dollars.
I have a couple of happy dollars.
Go ahead, Adam.
Thank you. First of all, being unemployed or sort of semi-employed, starting up a new business, but no clients yet, has its downside. But the upside is I get to do a lot of skiing. And I've been out to Big Sky now a number of times. And in fact, every excuse I get. So I'm going to take my daughter out for Easter break. I have a photo that I could try to show if, I don't know if this would work or not. I just had it up and now it just disappeared on me. But needless to say, it's been a real joy. The other thing I just want to share was the Crowing Energize had its annual meeting, and Dan Hegstead was one of the speakers, moderators, and did a super job. And Dan, we really, really appreciate you. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Adam. Other happy dollars.
Yeah, I have a happy dollar, David Winkleman here. I did not get COVID, and neither did my wife. And we are very happy now. We've both been vaccinated twice, and I can't wait to get out and see some people again.
Other happy dollars. Thanks, Dave.
Hi, Rod Rangan here. I'm going to share my screen. I was up at Greens Point, north of Brainerd, and I'm happy to say the swans and geese are back. So if you get a chance to go up there and see the birds, it's kind of a neat thing.
Other happy dollars. I do have one. I was going to try to share my picture, but it's slow coming to my email. I had the opportunity to take a quick weekend getaway with my best friend from high school, and we went to San Diego on Thursday and came back late Sunday night. And I'm sorry I can't share the picture with you. I sure wish I could. It's a beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean where we decided just on Saturday afternoon to grab a couple of beach chairs and sit there all afternoon and just listen to the waves crash in. So it was a wonderful opportunity to just get away for a little while. Any other happy dollars? All right, hearing and seeing none. Thank you, and we're gonna move right into our program. And so I'm gonna actually probably let this group introduce themselves. Addison Hillman. Hi, Addison.
Hi.
This is a great group and you're gonna have a ton of fun presenting to us.
Okay.
Addison Hillman is with FFA and is going to tell us about ag issues. So Addison, if you want to just take it away and you can introduce your team.
Okay, so we are doing an agriculture issues group. So we find an agriculture issue that we researched and now we're making a presentation for it, and we'll go on. We need to present to at least 3 groups before we make it to state, and then if we do good there, we'll go into nationals, which is in Indianapolis, Indiana. So you guys are our first group. So there might be a few like kinks that we still got to work out a little bit, but yeah, so we're part of the Brainerd FFA. So I'll let Jenna introduce herself.
So I'm Jenna Kahi. I'm on the Ag Issues team from the Brainerd FFA chapter. I'm Gracie Wind. I'm also on the Ag Issues team too.
And I'm Allison Watala, and I'm also on the Ag Issues team.
So our meeting or our presentation is in the form of a like public hearing. So that's, so I guess let's just get into it. So good afternoon and welcome to the public hearing between Generic Dairy and Waitala Family Farm. The meeting is now called to order. I'm Addison Hillman and I'm your representative from the Crow Wing County Land Permit Office. Gathered today, we have Allison Waitala with the Waitala Family Farms, who is worried about how much Generic Dairy has been expanding in Crow Wing County. We also have Jenna Kahi, the owner of Generic Dairy, and Gracie Wind, an active member in our community. Let's first hear from the opposing side, Waitala Farms. Why do you not want Generic Dairy expanding?
I am very worried about Generic Dairy expanding because I do not want them crossing the property lines and buying out my family farm. I've seen multiple scenarios where small farms have to shut down because the larger farms are expanding too far. Our farm also supports my family.
Okay, now let's hear from the side requesting the permit. Generic Dairy, what are you planning on using the land for?
The reason Generic Dairy needs to expand and get this permit is because the bigger desire to generate enough crop to feed the growing herd size and to build more houses for the workers and barns for the animals.
So Itala Farms wants to protect the minority while Generic Dairy wants to continue to feed the world. Generic Dairy, please give me more examples of how you are planning on using your land.
If generic dairy is able to grow our farm, we will be even more efficient than before and continue to be more efficient. The Waitala Dairy Farm is smaller. Like the smaller farms like Waitala Dairy Farm take longer to produce even half the amount of goods that generic dairy does. By allowing me to buy the land, we continue to do what we do best, making the milk that you drink every day.
Small farms close their door every year due to the new regulations that they have to follow. We do not have enough money to keep up with the building codes and environmental acts. Dairy farms in Crow Wing County have received at least $100,000 from the government in financial aid.
I feel if the smaller farms need the help of government financial aid, they should not be in business because they aren't able to keep up with the fluctuating prices change from the milk prices, always changing in general. There is a reason that the codes are out there, and if you can't stay up to date, maybe you shouldn't have your farm.
Larger farms like Generic Dairy do have more cows, and they are able to stay with the fluctuating milk prices, whereas smaller farms like my farm struggle with the lower milk prices. We do not have enough land or enough money to buy land to grow our herd and to keep up with the milk prices.
With being a larger dairy farm, we typically have around 15,000 head and are able to sustain and keep up with the number. And with small farms, they run an average of anywhere from 30 to 500 cows, and with some farms struggle to keep up with that number. On this note, larger farms are able to produce more pounds of milk, a total of 23.4 thousand pounds of milk, and are able to feed a larger population than the smaller dairy farms would. As a larger dairy farm, I'm able to employ more people. It is shown on an average that large dairy farms employ over 150,000 people a year, while small farms tend to just have families involved with their farm, where large farms are able to offer benefits and different things that small farms can't afford.
This isn't the only time I've seen small farms being taken over. First, it started with the poultry industry, and then it was the beef, and now it's the dairy.
According to the Time magazine, the nation has lost 100,000 farms between 2011 and 2018. And every year, 300 dairy farms close their doors. I do not want to be 301. We have been farming this land since 1949, and we used to own all of this land, and now we only own a small portion of it. There were trees covering the whole area, and now there's a road going through the trees to get through the city faster. I am losing land for multiple reasons, and if I lose more, I may not be able to keep farming.
We use modern technology that allows us to use just enough water for our crops to get the most of our land. Our tractors have GPS systems that track everything is being planted, and we use GMOs to get more crop per acre while researching the effects of new plant types.
I'm not sure how I feel about having a lot of research done on the effects of GMO. My children eat the crops you sell to the grocery store and drink the milk you produce. I don't want them to be getting an unknown health effect.
Also, the amount of tractors you have produces way more carbon dioxide into the air. Each liter of diesel burned releases 2.6 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Your cows produce more methane gas than mine since you have more of them.
From what I've heard so far, Watala's dairy is better environmental and socially, while generic dairy is better for the economically. Small farms promote neighborhood attractions and family connections. They also have a higher care for the environment. On the other hand, large farms boost the economy by employing workers and produce products in the mass quantities to make affordable in general to the public. As a mother, I love saving money, but I also like supporting small businesses.
I encourage you to vote no on this because small farms need to be protected from large corporate companies.
I encourage you to vote yes because I need the land to expand my herd and build more housing for them and build more houses for my workers.
Thank you for your inputs. I will take this to the higher up and they will make their decision. Meeting is adjourned. So that is our presentation. Is there any questions?
So thanks, Addison. I have a question. So you're doing a competition, right? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
And so how many groups do you have to present to before April 1st?
2 more after you guys before, yeah, April 1st. And then if we make it onto nationals, we'll have to present to 10 more groups. So yes.
Nice. Are there questions of Addison, Gracie, Allison, or Jenna?
I've got a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
So for this competition, did you all choose the topic, or was it given to you as part of the competition? And then the second part of that is how did you decide who is tackling which point of view?
So for this issue, we actually, so it's egg issue. So the students that decide to do this competition, you get to research and choose your topic you want to do. So we just went with small versus large farms because there's a lot of that kind of going around right now and going on. So that's just what we decided to do. And then we kind of just divided the roles among evenly of who wanted to do what on our team.
So Jenna actually has a dairy farm, and Allison's family has a dairy farm, so it kind of fit for them to both play a role in that. So yeah.
So Jenna,
One suggestion that I would recommend is that you discuss the building of the soil health. Which is better, the small farm or the large farm, to build up the soil's health? The small farmer is most likely because they use manure instead of chemical fertilizers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Kevin.
Yes. So I think, Jenna, I think the group would like to understand, or should understand, that you're my favorite granddaughter. And they also probably should be aware that Addison's one of my favorite great nieces. And Jenna started her own dairy farm, what, 5 years ago now, Jenna?
Yes, 5 years ago.
So for these kids, it's not just a topic. They live and breathe and work this every day, and they really understand the topic and the issue that they're talking about. It's not just an exercise that they're going through. So congratulations, girls. Good luck at state.
I'm curious, would it make a difference for you girls if you said how many cows were on each of your farms? I was curious if you're talking about a small mart, or did I miss the count and wasn't listening close enough?
So I think we did talk about that, maybe how the average. We had like an average herd size for small and large. I'm trying to. Yeah, here, Allison, you can talk about that.
So we like averaged it out because it's not just our issues. Like everybody, a lot of more people are going through this issue. So then we just researched and then picked an average number. So.
Addison, is your dad Greg Hillman?
No, that is my uncle.
Okay, that's my neighbor.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to state and you present, do they question you, or do you just present and then you're judged on that?
Yeah, they'll question us about our topic to make sure we've actually done the research. We watched some national videos and their questions were kind of intense. Like they had wanted very specific details about, like say one of them was the fertilizer and they wanted specific nitrogen counts of both options. So yes.
Well, that's great. And Jenna, I guess I just have a question for you. So you started your own dairy farm 5 years ago. How many heads do you have?
So I have right now milking 75. So
wow, good for you. Other questions?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
First of all, great presentation, wonderful information, especially for someone who doesn't understand or know much about the topic, which I really appreciate. My only comment would be just, I would just suggest slowing down a little bit as you go through the material, because I know you all are incredibly bright, articulate folks, but you know it so well. You're probably sharing it at a speed that makes sense to you, but for some of us who are a little bit slower, we could, if you slowed it down just a little bit, I think it would help with the understanding.
Yes.
I have a comment too. Gracie, Allison, Jenna, Addison, it was a great presentation, and I appreciated all of your perspectives, including that of the active citizen, because, I don't know much about what you're talking about. And what it did is it inspired me in listening to think, yeah, I should learn more and maybe venture an opinion. And so I liked all of your perspectives.
I'll throw out one more thing as well. You all did a great job. There's a lot of challenges, obviously, with the virtual world that we've all lived in for the past year and a bit, but there are some advantages too. And if you're doing this virtually, one of the things you can do is create little backgrounds for each one of you, so that when it pops up on my screen, I know exactly what topic you're talking about. That could be kind of something cool to think about.
I have a question for Jenna. And the question is, have you built the herd so that you have economies of scale that you can, instead of continuing investment or continuing to put new money into the business, are you reinvesting profits? I'm not sure I'm being very clear there, but there's a point where you should be able to produce income instead of only reinvesting in your business.
I think as of right now, I'm at a pretty good number and I'm doing good at where I'm at, and I don't need to.
You don't need to reinvest or continue investing?
I did not hear.
How big was the herd when you started?
So I originally started with 4 Jersey cows, and we were milking them in a bucket system, and then we upgraded it and we built the freestyle parlor barn, and that's when we got to 75. So
Pretty amazing.
mm-hmm.
So I guess my question, Addison, Gracie, Jenna, and Allison, is there anything you want from us? Is there anything we can do to help you guys?
Yes, if you guys could write a letter just saying that we were here, I can send you examples of past letters of portfolios that other groups have made. If that helps you know what you're supposed to put in the letter, that would be very helpful.
We can certainly do that. Anything else you'd like of us?
Maybe if a pic. So I think you have to have a picture of us being here, but virtually, I'm not sure if that's still required. So I asked my mom, I think she's on here, if she could just take a picture of the screen, but I'm not really sure if she did that. So I see that it's recorded. So if we can just go back and maybe just take a screenshot of something, I think that's pretty much all we need. But yeah.
I've got a picture. I'll send it your way.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Just a quick comment. You girls did a great job, but you might want to watch your placement of your cameras. So with background, that was already addressed, but if you had your cameras a little better so we can see your faces a little better, might be a good idea. But yeah, you did a wonderful job. I learned quite a bit.
Well, thank you very much for having us. I think we'll just leave the meeting, but thank you again.
And before you go, I just want to say good luck, good luck, good luck. And please keep us posted. In fact, Addison, I will ask your mom how you do so I can report back to Rotary. So good luck to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, so thank you. And Dan, thank you for rescheduling. I just know that they had to get 4 practice things in before, I thought it was 4, before April 1st. So we were just asked if Rotary could be one of the groups that they presented to. So Dan rescheduled our speaker for today so that these young ladies could come in and present to us. So thank you for doing that. Is there anything else to come before Rotary? Gonna let you out a little bit early, and we will see you next week virtually. And then the week after that, we will be back in person. One more virtual meeting. You guys have a great week.
Thank you.